What is going on, Yon Nation? Welcome back for today's Cyberpunk 2077 news roundup. This time featuring new gameplay and character screens from a massive financial call detailing Cyberpunk's development, how many Night City wires are in the pipeline, just how much of a marketing push we will be seeing, DLCs and expansions, and the reiteration of no more delays, new Trauma Team comic book panels, new Dark Horse figures, some details via an interview with the Chinese localization team, giving us some insight into the scale of Cyberpunk versus The Witcher, as well as a ridiculous prize from CDPR's Rockstar Energy collaboration you're going to want to see for yourself. First up, we have some brand new Trauma Team comic book panels, which is set to release in just a couple days here on September 9th. We finally get to see the comic in full color, and in our last news episode we mentioned just how dark and gritty this series of comics is when we went over an interview with writer Colin Bunn and illustrator Miguel Valderrama. Dark Horse also announced 2 new figures for your desktop, including the updated look to default female V holding a rifle, and Jackie Wells with his iconic gold pistols. Moving on, we have CD PROJEKT's Q1 and Q2 financial call, where a ton of amazing Cyberpunk details were disclosed in the form of some graphs as well as statements from the president, CFO, and SVP. They started with some general statements and moved into a Q&A for investors who were able to call in. Before we get into that, we do have some images and some of their reports uploaded to their site, which does show off parts of the game previously not seen. In the first one, we have the character creator screen from a physical hands-on event, which is the first time we've seen it since the deep dive from 2019. I know it is super grainy and pixelated, but you can see that all these players do have fairly unique looking characters. We also have a couple images of what appears to be a scene outside on the street, as well as a hacking sequence where you have to take control over a camera. Moving into the actual call, they opened with the fact that CDPR will still be working from home till at least the end of the year, that Cyberpunk 2077 is in its final stage, and that all forces are preparing for a global release on November 19th. The Stadia version's date is still TBA, so for all 14 of you guys watching this who actually own a Stadia, you might have to wait a little bit longer to actually play. When it comes to previews, despite the global situation, they managed to get 120 key opinion leaders from 15 different countries to get their hands on impressions of Cyberpunk 2077, as well as conducted 60 interviews during this time frame. If you're wondering when the next Night City Wire is slated to release, you won't have to wait much longer, as the end of September was mentioned for episode 3. Not only this, but there are a few more Night City Wires that have been planned over the next 2.5 months that will run in line with other marketing activities. Honestly, this was a surprise to me. I was under the impression that we were getting 3, but I'm definitely not complaining. A chart showing the viewership metrics of The Witcher 3's trailers versus Cyberpunk 2077's was shown with the addition of the newest gig trailer. Cyberpunk has millions more views in the same time window as The Witcher 3, showing you just how potent the hype for 2077 really is. Moving into yet another chart, CD PROJEKT showed the weight of the marketing campaign going into the next month. It seems like the heaviest months are still to come, with print, radio, cinema, and TV beginning their campaigns in October, which will scale into a heavier presence in mid-October, and finally its heaviest presence in November. Digital will also see a marketing boost in mid-October and November, and out-of-home marketing will start at the beginning of November, aligning with all the other mediums in its ramp-up. For those who thought the marketing was in full swing, it does seem like we're right on the cusp of some of the more intense months ahead. They have also spent a whopping $121 million on Cyberpunk as well as other developmental projects. I'd imagine a majority of this chunk would be rooted in Cyberpunk's development, although there are other projects that CDP has funded. CD PROJEKT mentions their mobile AR game being made by Spocko, which will be released on iOS and Android. A launch date will also be revealed later this year. Spocko is under the CD PROJEKT umbrella, but they are developing it 100% independently from the core teams within. Finally, we have the reveal of The Witcher 3 next-gen port being developed by a trusted partner that will be a free upgrade if you already own the game. It will be tied to your specific platform, so PC owners will receive a patch, and those moving from current to next-gen consoles will receive a download when it's available. Getting into the Q&A segment, a caller asks if there's any risk for a further delay and if next-gen versions of Cyberpunk are still coming in 2021. CDP responds that 2077 is in its final certification, that everything is on track for the 19th, and that there are no chances for another date. The next-gen Cyberpunk version will also launch next year. When it comes to how long it will take the company to offer a discount on Cyberpunk 2077, they do mention that they took a long time to discount The Witcher 3, and even then it was not a very large percentage. With Cyberpunk 2077, it will be even longer before they offer a discount. When it comes to how aggressive they'll be with monetization of Cyberpunk multiplayer, they respond that they never want to be aggressive in their monetization and to expect great things to be bought. They do want to design a monetization scheme that makes people happy to spend money and give the same feeling of value as with the single player game. Going back to the chart, CD Projekt clarifies that marketing is accelerating in Q3 and that this is the biggest marketing endeavor ever for them, which is roughly 3 times the scope of The Witcher 3's. The budget will also ebb and flow on the way to release, and they will tweak it as they see fit. Optimization is going well and Cyberpunk looks stunning, so expect nothing short of a well-optimized game on release. We end with the information that yes, we will still be getting details on expansions and DLC of Cyberpunk pre-release. Moving on, we have a couple interesting details from an interview done with the Chinese localization team working on Cyberpunk 2077. Expect full localization for the Chinese game and not just a simple Chinese version. Quality and quantity is the goal here, and they recorded 100,000 sentences to be used in the game. Now obviously some will get cut and there are repeat lines with different emotional tones, but this is still 15 to 20% more than The Witcher 3, including both expansions. Now apparently this dub was also done blind, meaning that there was no video or photo material to aid the voice actors. Finally, we did mention Cyberpunk 2077 and Rockstar Energy's collaboration on Samurai Cola last episode, and now we have something more to add to this story. It seems that a contest will be run alongside the release of the drinks, and you can actually win a real-life version of the Quadra vehicle from the game valued at $40,000 US. This is absolutely insane, and for more details, I will have a link in the pinned comment, so check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and for everything and anything Cyberpunk, join Neon Nation by subscribing to the Neon Arcade.